Tomo Gozan. In 12th century Japan, Tomo Gozan rode into war beside the Minamoto clan. War consumed the Genpei conflict, as rival clans fought for control of Japan. Tomo became famous for her beauty, loyalty, and terrifying skill in battle. She fought beside the warlord Minamoto no Yoshinaka during the clan's brutal rise. At the Battle of Yokotagawara, Tomo charged directly into enemy lines. Stories claimed she defeated warriors twice her size without hesitation. But victory soon collapsed as rival Minamoto forces turned against Yoshinaka. The final battle arrived, at Battle of Owazu, beneath freezing winter skies. Arrows darkened the sky as Yoshinaka's army collapsed around them. Even surrounded, Tomo continued, cutting through enemy warriors alone. Legend says she severed the head of a powerful enemy commander herself. Yoshinaka ordered Tomo to flee before the final defeat consumed them all. Tomo stared back at the battlefield as her lord rode toward death. Moments later, Yoshinaka was killed, and his rebellion shattered forever. After the battle, history suddenly lost sight of Tomo Gozan. Some believed she became a nun and abandoned a life of war. Others claimed she died fighting, refusing surrender until the very end. Centuries later, Tomo Gozan remains one of Japan's most legendary women warriors. Sanada Yukimura. In war-torn Japan, a red-armored warrior named Sanada Yukimura rose beside the collapsing Toyotomi clan. Born into the Sanada clan, he learned survival while Japan drowned in endless civil war. The mighty warlord, Toyotomi Hideyoshi, unified Japan, but peace would not survive his death. After Hideyoshi died, Tokugawa Ieyasu moved to seize absolute power over Japan. Yukimura chose loyalty over safety and swore himself to the doomed Toyotomi heir. Soon, the armies of Tokugawa surrounded Osaka Castle with overwhelming force. Inside the fortress, fear spread as supplies vanished and death closed in. Yukimura answered by building deadly defensive trenches outside the castle walls. The defenses became known as the Sanada Maru, feared across the battlefield. Wave after wave of Tokugawa soldiers crashed against Yukimura's defenses and died. For a moment, Yukimura turned hopeless resistance into legendary defiance. But Tokugawa's army returned stronger, preparing the final siege of Osaka. Flames consumed Osaka as the final battle erupted across the shattered city. Yukimura led a desperate assault straight toward Tokugawa Ieyasu himself. The Tokugawa lines nearly collapsed as Yukimura carved through their commanders. Exhausted and wounded, Yukimura finally collapsed beneath the burning summer sky. Enemy soldiers approached carefully, shocked that one man had nearly changed history. When Sanada Yukimura died, Japan remembered him as the last great samurai warrior.
Date Masamune.
In war-torn Japan, a one-eyed child named Date Masamune was born beneath falling snow. Smallpox stole his eye, but it hardened the child into something feared. The boy trained relentlessly, determined to become stronger than every rival clan. At 17, Masamune inherited leadership as northern Japan drowned in chaos. He crushed enemy clans with terrifying speed, earning the name One-Eyed Dragon. Villages burned as Masamune expanded his power across the northern provinces. His ambition terrified rival warlords already struggling to survive Japan's endless wars. Masamune executed enemies without hesitation, believing mercy invited destruction. Then the mighty Toyotomi Hideyoshi demanded Masamune submit or face annihilation. Masamune arrived late before Hideyoshi, expecting death for his dangerous arrogance. Instead of execution, Hideyoshi spared the young warlord and watched him carefully. After Hideyoshi's death, Japan again descended into a struggle for absolute power. Masamune sided with Tokugawa Ieyasu during the decisive Battle of Sekigahara. Tokugawa victory ended centuries of bloodshed and reshaped the future of Japan. Masamune built the city of Sendai, transforming his lands into lasting prosperity. He even sent ships across the ocean, dreaming of connections beyond Japan itself. But age slowly weakened the feared warrior once called the One-Eyed Dragon. In 1636, Date Masamune died, leaving behind the legend of the One-Eyed Dragon, Oda Nobunaga. In 1534, Japan shattered into endless war as Oda Nobunaga rose from chaos. Born into the Ode clan, Nobunaga was feared as the Fool of Owari. After his father died, rival warlords moved to destroy his clan. Nobunaga answered with ruthless violence and crushed his enemies one by one. At Okeyazama, Nobunaga defeated a massive army against impossible odds. The impossible victory made Nobunaga feared across Japan. Nobunaga marched toward Kyoto and seized control of the capital. The warlord promised to unite Japan under absolute rule. Temples that opposed him burned beneath merciless flames. Even allies feared the brutal power of Nobunaga's armies. European guns transformed Nobunaga into an unstoppable force. One by one, powerful clans collapsed before his advance. But inside his own ranks, betrayal quietly began to grow. In 1582, Akechi Mitsuhide finally turned against his master. Hanogi Temple erupted into flames as Nobunaga was surrounded. Outnumbered and abandoned, Nobunaga prepared for death. Rather than surrender, Nobunaga chose to end his life within the flames. The man who nearly united Japan vanished into smoke, leaving legend behind. Miyamoto Musashi. In 1584, Japan was drowning in endless war when a wandering swordsman was born. At 13, Musashi killed his first opponent in brutal combat. He abandoned home and wandered Japan, searching for stronger enemies. Every duel sharpened Musashi into a feared killing machine. Soon, his victories spread across Japan like a growing nightmare. Musashi challenged entire sword schools to prove his supremacy. The Yoshioka clan swore revenge after Musashi destroyed their honor. Hundreds waited to ambush Musashi in a deadly final trap. But Musashi escaped through chaos, leaving bodies behind him. His most legendary duel awaited on a lonely island shore. Sasaki Kojiro stood waiting with his enormous, deadly blade. Musashi arrived late, intentionally, to disturb Kojiro's emotions. One strike ended the duel before Kojiro could react. Kojiro collapsed into the sand as silence consumed the shore. After years of killing, Musashi slowly abandoned the sword. He turned toward philosophy, art, and the meaning of discipline. As illness consumed him, Musashi prepared calmly for death. In 1645, Miyamoto Musashi died alone, but became immortal through legend. If you enjoy watching, can I get a like and subscribe? It will help the channel a lot. Thank you for watching.